I am very pleased to be interviewing Mike Greco, who's EVP Strategic Insights for A&E Networks. Thank you so much for your time today.
No problem.
Well, let's start with your background. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I started out my career at Nielsen. I spent 2 years at Nielsen, and I think it's a really great place to kind of start out a career. I think a lot of young people today, they kind of get into the industry and they get thrown on computers, and they don't really necessarily understand or get like the proper training initially to kind of understand the background of the numbers and the ratings and all of that. So it's a really great place to start. Then I spent about 5 years on the agency side between Bozell and GM MediaWorks and BBDO, which eventually became OMD. And that was a kind of a really great time too, because it was before the kind of media companies, and they were full service agencies, and it's where I met my mentor, one of my mentors, Steve Sternberg. And they were small research departments, and you really kind of had the opportunity. I had the opportunity, like 2 years in the business, to be reporting to an SVP and doing a lot of things that someone in the 2 years of the business wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to do. So I was kind of his, is his right-hand person. And in hierarchical, media companies now, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to get out and do kind of client presentations and that sort of thing 2 years in the business. Then after spending 5 years on the agency side, I moved over to MTV Networks, where I led programming research, and I worked for my second mentor, Betsy Frank. And in the 7 years I was at MTV, I started out just doing programming research, and then along the way I added primary as well as the ratings piece and digital, distribution research for all the ad sales for all the MTV brands. So MTV, not MTV Networks, but MTV brands. So MTV, MTV2, MTVU, MTV Face. And that was an amazing experience. We had 24 consecutive quarters of growth. I don't think I really appreciated how difficult it was to kind of grow, because I just moved on to the TV business and onto the TV side, and we had a lot of immediate success. So after doing 7 years at MTV, I moved to Lifetime, spent a couple years at Lifetime, moved out to LA for Lifetime, and then Lifetime merged with A&E Networks. And now I lead the business side of research for A&E Networks, based back here in New York. Basically doing ad sales research, distribution research, as well as digital and cross-platform.
So you've had really great, almost 360-degree research background from Nielsen, a supplier, ad agency, networks. How has the research function changed for you over the span of your career?
I think overall, research has really kind of become more of a front room operation. I think I've always been very fortunate to work in organizations where research was a front room organization. And on the agency side, we were kind of very involved in new business pitches and being in front and center in clients. MTV, of course, had a reputation for for research really kind of having a seat at the table and having a voice and understanding the consumer. A&E Networks is very similar, but I don't think it's like that necessarily everywhere all the time. And I think today, companies and businesses, whether it's on the agency side or whether it's on the media side, really realize the value that research really brings, and the insight that research really brings, and it's really part of the process. And I'm seeing that not just in a few select organizations and businesses anymore, but I think you're seeing that more widely spread.
I've always been a strong proponent of research, and I couldn't help but noticing that your title is EVP Strategic Insights. Maybe that's a good thing, that research is not part of the title, but what is your opinion?
It's all about branding. I think it is a good thing. I think you're right. I think it really kind of reflects what organizations, because I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of my colleagues don't have research in their title, and I think strategic insights says a lot more than research. It really shows that it has a seat at the table, that it's strategic and insightful. It's not slipping numbers under the door anymore. A big part of research is providing direction and helping map out a business plan. The other thing that I think really has changed with research a lot, probably in the years that I've been there, is research is really has to be a marketing tool as well. It's not enough to put together a presentation with bar charts and pie charts and that sort of thing. You really have to be able to kind of market the research. We actually built an app for our AEs to take out, and what it does is it features our research toolkit. So we try to be research and our strategic insights tries to be out on the road as much as possible with the AEs, but a lot of times we're not there, and we have such a rich toolkit of tools that we can offer to our clients. And sometimes it's difficult for the AEs to be able to talk about them and explain them. So the app houses basically 1-minute trailers of a lot of our different tools, whether that's neuroscience or TRA or some of our consumer insights presentations that we put together. And it also has a glossary in it because it seems like there's a new term, right, coming up every week now, or a new acronym at least, so they can get the one or two sentence definition of what that term is on the fly. And it can be played on a laptop, but it's also on a tablet. So if it's not a big presentation and it's a drive-by office and they just want to play the minute trailer, kind of set up the meeting where we come in and then present that presentation, they can do that.